Hey, hi, welcome to this part. We are looking at some more questions on the AWS Data Engineering Part 2. Okay, so let us delve into the questions. We have already uploaded part 1 and we have also uploaded an introduction part of what the exam consists of, what is the scoring marks to in order to pass the certification and so on. Also, do not forget to subscribe to this new channel, Gen AI Crew. I have 11 subscribers at this stage, but please subscribe and it will give you a lot of details about Gen AI, how to create a career out of it, how to look for use cases, how to build that talent and skill. You can check this out. So let us jump into the questions. There is a data engineer, they are trying to make use of step functions. So what are step functions? First of all, these are visual workflows. It's like you are saying, okay, I have to do 5 tasks. First I will run task 1, then task 2, then task 4, then task 3 and 5. Okay, if you have any of such sequences to be played, use step functions. Okay, now we know what is a step function. We are trying to orchestrate, just like a music composer, a music orchestrator who says, hey piano please play, hey violin please play now, guitar please play now. So that is what step function does. Okay, enough of step function. So what is the problem? You This step function has to process a large collection of data files. That means lots of data. And what are they doing? They're trying to apply a specific transformation. A simple transformation can be, hey, whenever you see the digit 2, add 2 to it, something of that sort. Okay, it can be even much more complex, but that is what it is doing. It is taking some sort of data, it's applying transformation. So here they are asking us, suppose I want to apply transformation. Now which step function state should I use? So there are different states. Okay, these are not states like California, Washington, New York, not those states. These are states like either you are drugged or overdose, you have passed out, or you are in a normal sober state. Okay, I'm not talking about India, I'm talking about America, where you find these states. In India, you don't find these states, except for Punjab. In Punjab, you would find a similar state like you have in US. But we are talking about different states of step function. So what is a parallel state? Let us look at each one of these. What is a parallel state? Common sense, common sense, common sense. It says probably using this, I can do few tasks in parallel. Probably, yes. Like I can be sleeping as well as I can be mowing the lawn. What a stupid way of telling you parallelism. Okay, you cannot do these two tasks in parallel, but there are certain tasks you can do in parallel. For example, you can be wearing a slipper and you can be mowing a lawn. So that is parallel state. What you do is you execute multiple branches of your workflow concurrently. Okay, and when is it useful, boss? When is it useful? When you don't, when you like you have to perform tasks that don't depend upon each other. Okay, they are independent, so they can run in parallel. They do not have to run in sequence. Those kind of tasks. So is our task something which can be done in parallel? Yeah, it does say you must parallel process large collection. It does say that. So I'm not ruling this out at this point in time. Let us look at um, choice state. Okay, choice state says there is a decision point in your workflow. Okay, and then you are branching it out. Suppose if the value of a sales flag is y, you do one action, but if it is n, you take a different path. In our question, there is no indication that we got to make a choice based decision based on the outcomes. That's why we will rule this out. Okay, map state. Okay, fantastic. So what does map state do for you? One good thing is it is saying Guys, use me if you are handling large data sets. Fantastic. This is what we need for our question. Now you might ask why? Where did it say? The question clearly says large collection of data files. It seems I got my answer. Plus, it is saying they can do that in a parallel fashion. Does our question say we need some parallelism? Does it say so? Oh, yes, it definitely says so. It says it should be a parallel process. Parallel process. Hey, hooray, we got our answer. Map state is our answer. It is a perfect fit. But then, from a knowledge standpoint, let us look at wait state. Wait state is just like God. God knows you want to become a millionaire, but God says, wait. God introduces a delay in the execution of your workflow. Okay. Now, some may say, hey, are you sure God does that? Yes, buddy, God does that. Nature does it. The way nature is built is you try to do anything big, you will fail minimum of 3 times. That's how the nature is built. You have to put hours and hours and then you can succeed in certain things. That's how it is built. That's how nature is built, and that is a harsh reality. So in our question, we don't have to wait. We have to run. Why? Because we have lots of data to process. We cannot wait. We have to run. Okay. If there are no opportunities coming, we have to create opportunities. We cannot wait for the nature to create a right time for us. So map state is our answer. Okay. This is what we have to use. The question is not telling introduce or delay, so we'll not use wait. The question is not saying there is a choice to be made, and parallel state is just addressing the parallelism, but it does not talk much about large collection of data file processing. So that is why map state is our perfect answer, option C. Okay, let us look at this next one. These guys are talking about using a quick site dashboard. So for people who do not understand dashboarding, we are talking about business intelligence. We are talking about creating reports. So here, this is one example of a report or a dashboard. We are talking about analytics applications and who uses QuickSight. So QuickSight is one of the client is NFL. They use it for next gen stats. Okay. So in this case, these guys are using it to monitor usage of the company's applications, which application is used how many times, what is the frequency of access, and so on. So these guys are also making use of glue jobs. We are not talking about that sticky glue, but we are talking about an ETL tool from AWS which is capable of data integration. It is imperative to understand that this is primarily meant for extraction, transformation, and loading of the data. It is similar to Data Factory in the Azure world. Hey, please subscribe to this new channel we got where we are going to build a lot of content around Gen AI. Okay, so coming back to our question, they're having QuickSight, they're having glue jobs, and the glue jobs are processing the data that is then reported inside those dashboards. That is fine. Where is the data stored? Buddy, where is the data stored? It is stored in S3 bucket. And every day new data comes. Every day. Okay, we got the story. What is the problem that you are facing? What is the problem? The problem is that the dashboard is slow. It is becoming slow. Probably the data is increasing as and as your data grows in size, your reports are becoming slow. A very natural occurrence. And they are telling you that, boss, we did an RCA. What's an RCA in the IT world? Root cause analysis. Root cause analysis. Root cause analysis. They did that, and they are telling the culprit is the AWS glue jobs. These jobs are the culprits. Okay, so what else we have to do? Now they are saying, guys, you are a data engineer who are supposed to clear the certification. So tell me how to improve the performance. So now what is the action you have to take? You have to take, you have to tell how to improve the performance of the glue jobs. Now let's get going with the options. The first thing you got to do is you got to partition the data. It is imperative to partition the data. Large scale data sets, if you want performance, you should consider something like year, month, some sort of partition key to partition the data. Why? Read this, my friend, read this. Pause it, read it. Let me explain this, by the way. If you partition it, it becomes easier to scan the data. Okay, it reduces the amount of data that needs to be scanned from S3, because if you have like 5 buckets, bucket 1 for year 1, bucket 2 for year 2, bucket 3 for year 3, and your query, that I'm just worried about year 1, which is important for me, it you straight away go to year 1. You don't even touch the data sets for these last 4 years. So that is reducing your data scan. And if you do partitioning, partitions can be distributed across multiple workers in the glue job. So that means you can enable parallel processing. If you have one big file, you cannot, putting it in a parallelism is difficult. But if you have partition data, you can process all three of them in parallel. That is the capability that gets augmented if you partition. And co-inherently, it improves your scalability of the application. Scalability means you can do more. It's like an underwear, the elastic of the underwear, that kind of elasticity. If you are thin today, the underwear still fits. But if you become fat, yeah, like fat means not too obese, but your stomach increases in size, the elastic will still take care of it. So that is scalability. Scale up, scale down, scale up. You can become from thin, you can go from thin to fat, you can go from fat to thin. It still works, the elasticity is still intact. Okay, so this would be my first answer, but we have to choose two answers. Let's look at the next one. It says B says, hey guys, let us increase the instance size. What happens if I have a glue getting processed and I increase the instance size? That means I get more power, more performance. Okay, and I am also doing a scale up of the worker types. That means I get more workers. If you are a team lead or a project manager, and instead of 5 people, if a boss says, hey guys, you are getting 3 more people, won't you be happy? Because you have more hands to do the job. That means what will happen? You will do the jobs faster. What happens is your performance increases, the delivery rate of delivery increases, you have become now faster. But how does the performance increase? Rate this space. It helps compute intensive tasks to a great scale. Because what is compute intensive task? It means that you have heavy computations. It increases the worker size so that you have more CPU, more resources at your disposal, and that means it increases your performance. Plus you have larger data sets. So if you have larger data sets and somebody is giving you more worker nodes with increased resources, the workload can be distributed, and that in turn accelerates processing. So I have given enough justification to prove that B is also a good option, a good candidate for the answer. So it seems we have caught our two answers, but let us look at the other three options. Now, option C says, hey guys, let's convert the glue schema to dynamic frame schema class. So dynamic frame, from a performance standpoint, it does not offer significant performance improvements. In fact, it has a slight negative impact. Why? Because see, from an advantage standpoint, dynamic frames offers flexibility and helps you with handling complex data. It helps you with handling the data on the fly. Schema inference is done, so that is fine. If your schema is not intact, if it is fluid and on the fly, schema inference is a good option. But in this case, that is not our use case. It more or less seems our schemas are intact, so this will not help. And in fact, it adds an overhead because it now has to translate to a slightly slower performance for simple, well-structured data where schema is known beforehand. So our case falls here. We know the schema beforehand. Okay, if we know the schema beforehand, then there is no value add here. If that is the case, that is why we say option C won't work for us. Option D says, hey guys, let's adjust the scheduling frequency of the jobs. The jobs are running, suppose if it runs 5 times a day, let's run half as many times each day. That means if it runs for 5 times a day, let us reduce it to 2 times. If it runs 10 times a day, let us reduce it to 5 times. But then this is not going to improve your performance, because then it will further slow down, because you're now processing a lot less data in a day, because you have cut down the processing by half. This is not going to improve your performance. This is in fact a deterrent uh, to decrease your performance, so that is not good. E says that, hey guys, let us put IAM role grants, let them access everything on S3. But this is not an access problem. Okay, this is not a security and access problem. The question does not say that these guys are going to process some data file, they get error. They are saying they can access everything, but they are having performance issues. So this is not a security problem. This is straight away ruled out. Okay, so we are able to establish options A and B are the right answers. If you have another opinion, if you think otherwise, some options may stand more merit than A and B, please put in your justification in the comments section. And if you have not yet subscribed to the Gen AI Guru, you see this at the red Gen AI Guru Ninja, subscribe to this channel and onboard your Gen AI journey. Okay, let me give you some more advantages of partitioning. If you are doing a server-side filtering, it helps you with specifying partition predicates in the queries, which helps apply filters a lot more faster. It reduces the amount of data to be processed, leading to even faster performance. This is what partitioning helps you to do. Plus, it helps you to improve the utilization of the cache when you are accessing the same partition repetitively within a job. Glue can cache the data locally on the worker nodes. So that means it already has the processed data cached, so it will not have to reprocess the data. That is going to improve your performance for subsequent accesses. The next time you're trying to process a similar set of data set, it will improve the performance, as the data need not be fetched from S3 again. It can be straight away taken from the cache. That is the advantage of leveraging cache to a great extent. So this helps you, because this feature comes with leveraging partitioning as an option. So this is a performance hack. So in order to summarize, you should also remember that you should not try to do excessive partitioning, as managing large number of small partitions increases the overhead. You should utilize glue crawlers and classifiers to automatically discover the managed partitions. This is an important step when you're actually working with AWS Glue as a data engineer. These uh, tips will become a lot more handy. So this channel is not about just helping you with questions and answers. It clearly explains you the justifications. And if you are getting onboarded as a data engineer in a project, we are also giving you tips how to improve the performance even further, which goes beyond the scope of the certifications. One more important thing is, when you're trying to scale up the worker type, it is crucial that you analyze your job characteristics and resource bottlenecks before you make this decision. Utilize auto scaling, explore larger worker types. These are some of the tips. If you are using Glue and if you want high performance, put it to auto scaling. Set the auto scaling mode and use a larger worker type if you have large files to be processed. and then this will help you optimize your code better for performance gains. See, if you have do not have a fixed schema, then always consider leveraging dynamic frames, because this works best in a like a fluid schema approach. So if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do so. And when you are doing so, I would also advocate subscribing to this channel, Gen AI Guru. This will help you with onboarding the Gen AI journey. So both the cloud and Gen AI are very important in today's time. They both gel and go hand in hand, because the Gen AI solutions will still leverage a lot of resources which are cloud based. So this brings us to the end of part 2. These videos are relatively longer because the justification, the analysis takes a lot of time, and this is important because it's a very new certification. You don't have lots of questions to play around with. So with few questions, few options, it's very important to delve into the depth of each option, understand each concept, so that even if the number of questions are low, you can still clear the certification understanding the concepts. See you in the next part. Stay tuned, stay focused.